Good afternoon. It is September 7th. We're all back to work and back to school from summer vacation and from Labor Day. I hope your fall season is going to be great. Obviously, we're going to be planning on having a good fall season up here. Hope your football team is winning and hope things are going well. I want to talk very briefly today about what I consider to be a very big deception in the used car buying market. And that deception is called Carfax. Uh, Let me just tell you a couple of things that you need to know about Carfax to understand that it may be a tool, it may even be a useful tool in buying a used car, but you cannot really fully rely on a Carfax to tell you a vehicle history. Carfax draws its information primarily only from one source. That one source is the state departments of motor vehicle. So for instance, here in California, the Department of Motor Vehicles will tell you when a car is registered. It will also tell you when the title to a car changes or when there's a salvage title on a car. But really, and it'll also tell you when you get a smog inspection. But really, it doesn't tell you a lot more than that. A lot of people have the idea that a Carfax will tell you when a car has been in an accident. That is simply not true. For most of the accidents, I don't know exactly what the statistics are, but at least probably 80, probably as much as 90% of all accidents do not get reported to the state departments of motor vehicle. They get reported to insurance companies, but the insurance companies do not then turn around and report them to any state officials or anything like that. So they remain as insurance records, but they will never make it to the state departments of motor vehicles, and therefore they will never make it onto a Carfax. A Carfax will tell you if a car has been issued a salvage title in a state. So, for instance, if a car is so badly wrecked that the car has been salvaged, that will show up on Carfax because when you salvage title a car, it changes the titling on a car and you have to go through the State Department of Motor Vehicles to get a salvage title. But if a car is in an accident that is not a salvage title event, let's say a medium-sized accident or something like that, which can be serious to the future safety of the car, but not enough to salvage the car, that is not going to show up on Carfax. So the key thing to know here about Carfax is that the sources of information that it draws upon are limited. The best possible source of information that you could possibly have for a vehicle history would, of course, be the insurance records, and you can in fact get the insurance records, but it's harder to do and it takes a lot longer. A few years ago there was a company called ChoicePoint. ChoicePoint was very famous because they had one of the largest data breaches, basically where criminals got in and took a whole bunch of personal information about Americans. They had one of the largest data breaches in all of history. But ChoicePoint is actually where you would go to find all those insurance records. If you really are, I wouldn't do it, or I wouldn't go through the trouble to do it for, let's say, a small car purchase. But for if you're buying like a major vehicle and you're paying a lot of money for it, it's probably worth contacting ChoicePoint and seeing if you could get the insurance records for that vehicle. But Carfax, you're not going to see it there. If the car has been in a wreck, but the wreck did not result in a salvage title on the vehicle, the chances are it is not going to show up in Carfax. The one exception might be is that if there is a police report filed on an accident, that could make it into the official records and that could make it onto a Carfax. But again, the sources of information have to do with public state agencies. And if a police department files a police report on an accident, that could make it into the Department of Motor Vehicles and that could in turn show up on a Carfax. So just understand when you're dealing with Carfax, you're dealing with really a very, very limited pool or limited sources of information. You're not dealing with the full picture. When you're buying a used car, and particularly if you're investing a lot of good money in a used car, we still recommend that you go out and get an independent investigation as opposed to relying on a Carfax. And of course, if you buy a used car from a franchise dealer, particularly a certified used car, and you later find out that it has been in a collision or that it has a lemon law history, please contact us, particularly in California. We know exactly how to handle those cases, and we've gotten tons of good results with them. Again, I hope you're having a great fall season, and I'll talk to you soon.